So talking about next year, when we're putting together our lesson, I keep hearing you guys talk about hook, the hook. What the heck is it?
Okay,
I like that.
that's a good question. It comes in a lot of different forms depending on what we're studying or who's available or where we can go or what we can do. But the purpose of a hook is to really have the students expand their questions and start thinking about the topic, rather than for us to say, these are the things you're going to learn, step 1, step 2, step 3. Our hook really hands it to them, and then in their heads, they can take it and ask questions and really take the learning on as a thinking tool.
So, like, I guess give me an example.
Okay?
Okay, so for our first example, it was our unit here or there, and we wanted our students to think about how do they transport objects from point A to point B. And this was 3 different parts. We used a video. We showed them, is it Tesla, who's trying to build a Hyperloop where they transport people from California all the way to New York City in 35 minutes or less. And so we showed them a video about that, and then we got students to start thinking about, wow, is that even possible? What would that entail? And yada yada. And then we were fortunate to go to the 185th, where the kids were seeing how the National Air Guard were able to transport items like a semi into, what's the plane called?
KC-135.
Yeah.
Big, gigantic airplane. They just took the nose of the airplane and the semi backed up into it. And you could see the students going, whoa, that's crazy. I mean, a semi fits in an airplane. It's just something that you don't think about every day that made us think, but it really, you can see it on the faces of the students. They just go, that's amazing. I never thought of that.
Okay.
And then we also were fortunate that same unit, we were able to bring in state patrollers. And we had our parking lot emptied out. And so they were able to bring in a couple vehicles and shoot some skid marks across our parking lot. And then the students used their geometry skills and their physics skills to figure out how fast they were going before they braked. So that was kind of cool. So that's like the from here to there. We've also done different labs in the classroom. So for example, before we built our bolts, the kids wanted to know what the strongest shape was. So I did a circle lab where was it a circle or was it a triangle? And they had to make different shapes from a circle, and they made everything from a circle to a triangle to a rhombus to different shapes of polyhedrons. And then Nash at the same time did different floating labs. Will it float or will it sink? And these are all different things that we didn't necessarily give them any answers. We just wanted the kids to start asking questions, thinking outside the box, and to get their attention.
And the best hooks are ones that we don't have the answer to. Students would suggest something, will it sink or would it float? And honestly, to say, I really don't know, the students just freak out about that. They're like, wait, the teacher's supposed to know all this stuff. Then it changes your learning environment. So everybody's wondering and everybody's thinking about it, and it really shifts the learning from the teacher to the student in terms of taking that process on.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes. So in our unit, we're doing consumer protection. So identity theft, consumer fraud. So we could do, doesn't necessarily, you said it doesn't have to be a video, it just grabs their attention, right? So I could ask them maybe for their social security number, just to kind of get them going and see how many. Give me that, and then bam, right?
Oh,
That would really get their attention.
Okay.
What if you had them predict,
Okay.
like how much or how many social security numbers are stolen in the United States a day? I guess they could Google that though. But something that you think, okay, how many people in this school have had their identity stolen? You really wouldn't know that answer. And that, you know what, that's making me think right now.
Yeah.
Like, how often does this happen?
Okay.
And then you could, your idea of having them share their social security number shows how easy that is to be sucked into that. So, ooh, that's cool. I'm really thinking about that.
Okay, so Bob, what 2 things does a hook need to do?
Needs to grab their attention, and and then have them develop their own questions, right? Or thinking.
Yeah, perfect.
So I think we can do that, this year, and you can really do that in any subject area with any kind of format. That's a question that we're gonna have to say, okay, this lesson that we're putting together, are we doing that with this beginning of this to get them fired up? But it'll be a fun way for us to start, I think.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you.